Thank you for viewing our security awareness video. This is intended to give you some tips to be secure when online. There are lots of ways that threat actors try to gain access to or do harm to your computing network. Two common ways is by brute force or by phishing. Brute force attacks are targeted at a user's login credentials. The attack knows or assumes a username and uses computer algorithms to guess the password. If the attack is unsuccessful after a certain time, it will move on. The second is by phishing. Here, the threat actor will try to trick an overly trusting or unsuspecting user into giving up their username and password. Let's take a look at how to set a strong password and how to identify a phishing attempt. Setting a strong password is easy if you keep a few things in mind when setting a password. First, use different passwords for different sites. In today's world of connected applications, it's not difficult for a threat actor to have an idea of what sites you may log into. While it may be inconvenient, it will prevent widespread damage. Second, consider a longer password. Using a passphrase instead of a password is advisable. Use a mix of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and symbols in your passwords. And don't reuse passwords over time. In a world of technology, even the bad guys keep records. Reusing passwords makes the breach even easier. So let's take a look at a couple of password examples and how strong or weak they are. There are a number of free password strength testing sites on the internet. So let's look at a password that may appear to be strong on the surface, but let's see how long it would take to crack. We'll use a word and a combination of the 4 different types of characters that we described earlier: uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and symbols. So let's take a look here. We'll simply use 2 names. And we'll add a couple of numbers. And a character, exclamation. Now, while this meets all of the different criteria, take a look below. This would take an algorithm that a hacker may use 7.56 seconds to crack. Not very strong, but it appears strong on the surface. When we say consider using a passphrase, consider getting creative and use a phrase that you can remember. Here's one that everyone had to learn in grade school. We'll take 4 years ago, but we'll use our 4 criteria. So we'll use the number 4, and everything will be title case. So we can remember it's title case, we capitalize the first letter. We'll use the ampersand for the word and, the number 7, and then years ago with a period. So if you take a look there, this would take a hacking algorithm roughly 1,000 years to crack. It's very easy to remember. It's something that you have stored in your brain, and we've simply applied the four characteristics, or the 4 characteristics of a strong password to it. Let's take a look at one more. So we've all heard the nursery rhyme, "This little piggy went to market." So let's take a look. This little piggy will take the first letter of each word, went, and we'll capitalize it. The number 2, market. Now note here, we haven't used a symbol yet. So it's a sentence, let's put a period at the end. This will take roughly 59 centuries for one of those algorithms to crack. Again, something easy you can remember, and we simply applied those techniques to it. So let's take a look at phishing. In identifying a phishing email, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. Identifying phishing emails can be difficult depending on the complexity of the attack. Look for mismatched or suspicious email addresses at the top. Typically, you will see what's called an email alias, which gives the username's first and last name, and then you'll see their actual email address after that. Look for emails that arrive at strange times or that have conflicting dates. Be suspicious of emails that create a sense of urgency or pressure for you to take action, download something, or click. And beware of emails that have links. Hover over the link, simply moving your mouse over it and not clicking, to see where it will take you. If it's not associated with the domain or email address that it's coming from, it could be a phish. And when in doubt, throw it out. Be suspicious of anything that you are not suspecting or that you're not anticipating coming to you. So let's take a look at a phishing attempt. So this phishing attempt came through email, and it's going to use what's called social engineering to get you to do something, whether that's download malware, click a link, or enter your username and password into a fake portal. Above, or over here, you'll see a phishing attempt. A couple of things to be suspicious of. First, the name or the alias doesn't match the email address. We all know sometimes they can be different, but this one's not even close. Second, look for poor and broken English. A professional organization would not speak the way it is written here in this email. And finally, if you read through the email, there's a sense of urgency around a payment and clicking on an attachment. This should make your spidey sense tingle. This is not legit, delete it. If it was legitimate, they will contact you another way. Here's another example. I blanked out the user's information. This one's harder to spot. It seems legit, except for the time. The email arrived at 2:10 p.m. on 9/11, letting you know you received a voicemail at 6:10 p.m. on 9/11. So unless this email has a flux capacitor and can go 88 miles an hour, it's from the future. Delete. It is not legit. In order to protect your identity, the city has taken steps to brand its login portal. Note, this looks like a legitimate Microsoft login portal on the screen, but it's not. It's designed to capture what you type. This is the city's login portal. Note the logo and the city's name at the top. This will let you know that this is our official O365 login and it is safe for you to enter your credentials. So a few takeaways from this video. 1, create a strong password and use different passwords for different sites. 2, be aware of what is in your email. 3, be suspicious of any email with attachments or links to click. 4, pay attention to where you enter your credentials. And finally, when in doubt, throw it out. If you are suspicious of an email or suspect a breach or infection, contact service desk at grcity.us and we can help vet it for you. Simply send an email to servicedesk@grcity.us. Thank you very much for your time.